Are we lucky or what? Oh my God. We have the best music in any church anywhere. Not that I'm not biased or whatever. Okay, we're either a mom or we had a mom, but there's something to know about mom or even that nurturer aspect of yourself. It is your fault. Right out of the chute, the first woman, and we're already in trouble. Already. All the woman wanted was an apple. And then she became a mom and she was really in trouble. Remember this famous quote from Eve? Cain, Abel, if you don't stop fighting, one of you is going to kill the other. It's her fault. Now I'm going to tell you this quote, and it's not really about motherhood, but I personally see it about motherhood. So I'm going to call it Franklin Delano Roosevelt's famous quote about motherhood. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcomings. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Now, I was the mom in the arena. I dared greatly, and I failed greatly. Now, I don't know if any of you remember this movie from back in the 70s, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Remember the lighters? Remember that? Well, at that time, if you were under 18, you couldn't go without an adult. I got to be the adult. So I load all my kids up in the car, and all the drama kids that were left over that could fit in there, and off we went to Highland Park to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Well, before we ever got in the movie, there was a show. It was so crowded, and there were people dressed up like the characters in the movie. There were these three guys dressed up like the Andrews sisters. And so we all had to separate and get in little clusters, and I was left by myself and my baby, Mark, who's not here. He doesn't remember. He was only 3 months old. And I was sitting next to June Cleaver. He was lovely. And all I got out of all that effort was some other kid from high school, because it was a MacArthur High School of Irving area. It was a small town really then. And this kid says to my kids, "You mean you brought your mom?" So I did do it daring greatly. But it's okay, because a lot of those kids, now I'm 75 and they're still my Facebook friends. No matter how guileless or innocent the intent by mom, what's said is always open to interpretation. Consider these text messages from the moms who know how to operate a computer, but they don't always get it quite right. Okay, Mom, I just showed your picture to the Verizon guy. Next time you visit, I'll fix you up. Daughter, remember the last time you did this, it was with a murderer? Well, Mom says, this one is 28. He works for Verizon, and he's looking for a cute girl to settle down with. Daughter, and this is in all caps with exclamation points, and she replies, stop showing my picture to strange men. Or this mom, Mom, your great aunt just passed away, LOL. Son, why is that funny? Mom, that's not funny, David. What do you mean? Son, Mom, LOL means laughing out loud. Mom, I thought it meant lots of love. Oh my God, I'm going to have to call everybody. Okay. Now, it's true, there are some folks who didn't have a TV mom that was sent down from central casting. Maybe their mom was broken, or maybe their mom was varying degrees in between. But since I'm giving this lesson to a group of spiritual seekers, there's something that you need to know. You as a spiritual seeker have the responsibility to move on. You will never grow as long as you continue to camp out in a stagnant place. When we hold the resentments and the criticisms and the childhood tapes, we're trapping energy into the root chakra. Now, the root chakra, when you see a picture of a yogi in the yogi meditating position, the root chakra is the area that's in contact with the earth, tied to the earth, drawing energy from the earth. So that's where the root chakra is. It's the place where childhood teachings are embedded. And you'll never, never get to grow into the magnificent spiritual being that you are holding hostage. Nobody's doing it to you. You're the one holding yourself hostage. You can never let your hidden splendor be released as long as you live in that campsite. The root chakra is where your physical journey begins. It's a foundation or the building block that all the other building blocks rest on. And this is how the system or the mechanics of it all works. As a child, the most important thing is your family and the things that your family tells you is an absolute truth. You know, and they're not always. Do any of you still have crossed eyes? You know, but what you're hearing is from your family or their truths that they learned from their parents and their saboteurs, and then from their parents' saboteurs, and all this comes down into this little cluster that you have embedded deep within you as truth. But, you know, you're not in kindergarten. It's time to move on, to let it go, and go to the next step, and stop imprisoning yourself. So there you are, trapped in the basement of consciousness, holding yourself prisoner, when all you have to do is walk up the stairs into a house of light. But it's your choice. You know, maybe you're trapped in the place where your mom was so wonderful and so perfect, but she's gone now, and you think to yourself over and over what I could have done, what the would haves and should haves that you could have done to let her know how much you loved her. Well, I'm here to tell you that she knows how much you loved her, and you need to stop beating yourself up. Your mom just told me that. You know, it's still being trapped when you hold on to that, whether it's a good or a bad. It was happened to a different person in a different time, and this is where you are today. And you don't want to be like this guy, the golfer, who came home from the golf game and he was sweating and he was dusty and he was worn out and his shirt tails out. And he walks in the house and His wife said, "My gosh, what happened?" She said, "I thought golf was your favorite activity. It was something you loved. You look awful." The guy says, "It was the worst golf game of my entire life. It was awful. It was just fine until the 9th hole, and Harry falls over dead from a heart attack. The rest of the game, it was hit the ball, drag Harry. Hit the ball, drag Harry." You know, it's funny, but let me ask you this. How many Harrys are you dragging around? You're in life school. Let Harry go, for God's sakes. You know, don't stay trapped in kindergarten. Now, the Bible verse for today is from Exodus 20:12. "Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land in which the Lord your God gives to you." You know, like many edicts in the Bible, there's more here than meets the eye, sort of like we women, you know. The willingness, it talks about the willingness to honor, to validate that experience that you had with mother and father. The willingness to even be grateful for it. You know, it's something you chose. You chose that experience to help you grow spiritually, just as you choose every experience. So let it go. Take what you've learned from it. Okay? It also talks about the space over which you have been given dominion. You know, it says your God gives to you. Just so be grateful and acknowledge that you have dominion over this space. And this is just a hint or a clue about the mechanics of understanding the mechanics of the universe. One of the very important tools about understanding the mechanics of the universe is understanding what gratitude does for your physical, your mental, and your spiritual bodies. And that's part of the honoring, being grateful. It validates everything you've ever done, every experience you've ever had. One, when we genuinely recognize or honor an experience as a segue into the next step, we no longer give it a negative connotation. Negativity is toxic. We learn then just to let it go by being grateful of that experience. Two, when we express gratitude, we open the door of communication with Spirit, with God. We have begun a personal relationship with the energy that surrounds us, the energy over which we have dominion. Three, when we express gratitude for our blessings and our opportunities, we become a conscious and deliberate cog in the wheel of things turning out in our favor. Four, we become a part of the solution, an initiator of our own good, and then we give birth to our future selves. We become our own mother. It's a powerful place to be. So my mission on this planet is to nudge you toward a greater expression of your highest self. So I'm going to speak for all moms everywhere because I feel like I'm the mom of all of you besides my family. I'm even the mom of Iris and Lucy Jane. So move over, Shirley McLean. I'm going to even speak. I'm going to speak for the mom part of Mother, Father, God. And this is what they all want you to know. At a soul level, I want nothing more for you than for you to experience your highest potential and happiness. That's all any of us want as moms. And now I'm going to speak to you as a child who held on to old tapes way longer than I should have. And nothing ever changed for me until I chose to grow past old hurts. So now this is what I want for all of you, for all my children, each one of you. All I want is for you to walk on water. Unfortunately, as a mom, I really can't do that for you. But I do recognize this universal truth. None of us can walk on water until we stand up and get out of the dang boat. Happy Mother's Day.